It's time for another episode of The Oil Stream with Dustin Nielson and Tom Gazzola, presented by Popeye's Louisiana Kitchen.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to a Friday edition, heading into the weekend here of The Oil Stream with Tommy and Dusty, Nielson and Gazzola, brought to you by Popeye's Louisiana Kitchen. Gator Hockey is into the comment section already. He says, anyone else flip over to this and not listen to a Wannick right now? Come on. You could watch this, still listen to the radio. We can make it work. We're live on TSN 1260 Facebook page as well. Tommy, happy Friday, brother. How are you?
I'm well, Dusty. Happy Friday to you. Wannick likes stirring the pot. He's good at it and he enjoys it, but he's one of our buds for sure. And we got to support that guy.
Post hockey season, we're going to have a cool guy draft where you just draft the coolest dudes ever. And people have already been texting and saying, how ironic is it going to be to have a Wannick commish a cool dude guy draft? You know, like it's going to be weird. It's going to be weird.
Oh, God. You know what? It gets people talking.
He's a good dude, though. We do love Matt. He takes a lot of chirps. He brings them on himself, but he's a really good guy. He's a nice kid.
He is
not kid anymore.
Absolutely fantastic. He knows what he's doing. He's intelligent, and absolutely. He gets people going, clearly.
No doubt about that. The Oil Stream is brought to you by Popeye's Louisiana Kitchen, presenting sponsor of the Oil Stream from the very beginning. Huge shout out to Furby and the crew over at Popeye's. 7 Edmonton locations, all locations locally owned and operated. There's 12 in the area, just 7 smack dab here in Edmonton. You're talking DoorDash, Skip the Dishes, Uber Eats, drive-through. And it's going to be your chicken sandwich of the postseason right here on the Oil Stream. We'll get to your question of the day here right off the top. We do have lots to get to with line combinations at practice today. Shout out to Tippett for putting Kahun up there on a Friday, which means we all get to debate about it for the next 3 days before they play all throughout the weekend. It's going to be a great clip for us here, Tommy. I really appreciate it.
Yeah, I do too. Can I ask you a quick question of the day?
Okay.
And it's in regard to Popeye's Louisiana Kitchen. Is it a faux pas to put cheese on a chicken sandwich? Because I like a good slice of like a Monterey Jack. But I know that most chicken sandwiches do not come with a slice of cheese.
Can I throw something your way on the clarification here?
Yeah.
I've had like that grilled, like a grilled chicken sandwich. Mm-hmm. You get some cheese on that.
Yeah,
but on a regular chicken sandwich,
like crispy.
I think on a crispy chicken sandwich, it does feel like a little bit of a faux pas. But at the same time, like this chicken sandwich is delicious.
Yeah,
but would it be even better with a little slice of cheese? I don't know.
I love a good slice of cheese, being a good Italian kid. But the thing with me is like the chicken sandwich, the sauce makes the sandwich. You got to have great chicken as well. And the crispiness has to be good.
The breaded chicken here is what really makes the Popeyes one stand out. Yeah.
But I feel like the right cheese enhances that chicken sandwich, which is already at a high level. That's just
maybe if you go into Popeyes now and say, I'd like a Gazzola, they would put cheese on the chicken sandwich for you. It does kind of make sense because they put pickles on a chicken sandwich. Yeah. And pickles and cheese go pretty good together. So I don't think it would hurt it in any way, I guess is what I'm saying.
To each their own. But as soon as you were talking about Furby and Popeye's Louisiana Kitchen, I was like, man, I'd like a good slice of cheese on my chicken sandwich, regardless of if it's crispy or grilled.
You're a game changer, buddy. You're a game changer. It's just that simple. All right, let's get to today's lines, and then we'll come back around to the Ken Morrison question of the day. Tommy, you were at practice today. What exactly do they got going on?
Well, Kahun's on the big line. At least he was today with McDavid and Puljujärvi, and then the Nugent-Hopkins, Draisaitl-Yamamoto combination was together. We saw Ennis with Haas and Archibald, and then it was Neil, Chason, and Shore with Jujhar Khaira, who was on the ice practicing, rotating in on that line with Neil, Shore, and Chason. So it was interesting. And a quick note, Dusty, about Khaira. Like I saw some people in regard to the tweet say, oh, I thought you said that the medical team would have this all taken care of and all of that. Yeah, it was a scary injury. Scary to see a guy woozy like that after especially what happened with him and Brett Ritchie. He went off the ice when the team went into like a 5-on-5 scrimmage scenario later in the practice. And so he just went through the drills. Maybe they just wanted to get him out there and see. So just, they're not forcing him into anything. That's worth noting.
Still seems quick. I mean, which is a good thing. Like you assume they're going through everything properly. For him to have what happened to him on Monday.
Yep.
And be back out on the ice today is, to me, it's a little stunning. I would not have thought we had that discussion. I thought that might be the end of Jujhar Khaira this year.
Right. And you want him to take his time and make sure that he's 100%, truly 100%. Gregor brought this up on Tuesday when I was on with the Chronicles, and he said, well, hang on a second. It hasn't been diagnosed as a concussion. We had a concussion expert on, and he said it could be a couple of other things. I can't remember. If I remember correctly, Gregor mentioned something to do with sinuses, and I don't know. I mean, it's getting into the depths of it, but whatever it is, like, do the due diligence, which I know they will. Don't rush it. This is a young man still at 28 years old or whatever Jujhar Khaira is now. Handle it properly, tread lightly. But I think it's encouraging to see that he did take part in practice today. It's
kind of in jest on my part, but usually when you have a sinus issue, you stumble around like you can't stand up on your own and you're hammered drunk. I mean, like, let's see how this plays out. I don't think any of us need to jump to conclusions that it is a concussion or it isn't concussion. He's back on the ice. It's a positive sign, and we'll see where it goes. We'll see where it goes from here. Tommy, your thoughts on Kahun possibly getting a look here with McDavid and Jesse Puljujarvi?
Right. Interesting. Obviously, it caught a lot of people's attention. And I mean, listen, I'll say this about his game the other night on Wednesday. I thought he was not engaged. He did not challenge physically, as opposed to Monday, where I was actually like, all right, Kahun's buying in. He's getting in with the tough stuff a little bit. And on Wednesday, I didn't think he did that at all. And to see him on McDavid's line with Puljujarvi, that surprised me. And listen, this is a guy that doesn't get special teams time. Yes, his offensive numbers aren't great, but I've seen some snippets of his game where I'm like, you know what, there's some promise there. And all things considered, he's doing okay given the opportunity that's laid out in front of him. I'm not saying he's a world beater by any means. I don't say that he's going to save this team and make the forward unit that much more explosive and offensively gifted, but at times he's looked okay. I think he competes more. There's been comparisons to Tobias Rieder. I think he competes more, brings more to the table than a Tobias Rieder. He's flawed in the way he plays, absolutely, and he makes some mistakes, but a lot of guys on the team do, and the ones that he's made have cost the teams at time, and he's namely the game in Toronto. But it's interesting. He does have offensive ability, Dusty. Keep in mind as well, there's a few more days of practice before they get to Winnipeg too.
That being said, I mean, if they mix it up again tomorrow, it's great. We do a whole nother stream. Breaking news, new line combinations. This is incredible. Tommy, and I know you've done a pretty good job of staying positive on Kahun, unlike some others. I was expecting some more. I've been a little disappointed. But what do you think he specifically will bring that will help that line? Because to me, he's like not great at anything, and he's kind of okay at a bunch of stuff. So you've got Puljujarvi, who's going to be crashing and banging and turning pucks over on the forecheck. Connor McDavid being the best thing we've seen in 20 years. What does Kahun, is he a designated shooter? I mean, could that be something that you look at? Like, what's his role on that line?
No, I mean, let's look at what he does do well. He does actually compete hard in the offensive zone generally. He forechecks better than people give him credit for. He doesn't use whatever size he does have generally, but he can make plays. I see him as a playmaker. He has an ability to score some goals. They're not beauties. He can score ugly goals too, which is good. And I think that maybe they'll see if he has some offensive chemistry reading off of McDavid and Puljujarvi. It could be just an experiment, but he does have offensive ability. He's not the strongest, heaviest guy, absolutely. And yes, there's deficiencies in his own zone. There's deficiencies with his decision-making in the neutral zone. But he does have some offensive ability. I think that he has a generally decent offensive mind. So we'll see how it goes. I mean, it could be temporary. It could be an experiment. They don't have a ton of options either. Let's keep that in mind too. I was going through the left wingers. I'm like, I don't know. Like I think the James Neal ship has sailed for this season at least. And
well, stop right there, Tommy. Stop right there, because let's get to our Ken Morrison question of the day. Ken Morrison Remax question of the day. Visit his website at kenrmorrison.com. Huge Oilers fan. If you want to buy a home from a realtor who's a huge Oilers fan, or sell your home with the help of an Oilers fan, contact Ken Morrison, 780-993-4815. Visit his website at kenrmorrison.com. And you can find him on Twitter at Ken Morrison as well. Here's the question of the day, Tommy.
Yeah, bring it on.
On opening night of the postseason, and the question is not who do you think should be with McDavid and Puljujarvi. Who do you think Tippett has with McDavid and Puljujarvi on the left side, puck drop night one, let's say against the Winnipeg Jets? Who do you think it is?
I'm leaning towards Zach Kassian. If
Really?
his injury isn't that bad. He was not on the ice today. I don't think that surprises anybody. If it's not long-term and he's able to come back in a week or two, I'm sure we're going to find out more from Dave Tippett during his availability. But if he's good to go, I think Kassian. He was on a bit of an uptick with his play. They tried him on the left side. He obviously can read off of McDavid well. And if you've got two big bodies that can skate and make plays like Puljujarvi and Kassian between McDavid, maybe that's a recipe for success. So I'm going to go, as of right now, we're 2.5 weeks out, 3 weeks out from the postseason. I'll go with Zach Kassian if he's healthy.
And that's what you think Tippett will do, not just your answer. Okay.
Yeah.
I think it's going to be Ryan Nugent-Hopkins. I think it'll be back to the Nuge. I know they've got Nugent-Hopkins, Draisaitl, and Yamamoto together right now. We'll see. Maybe they catch fire again and he decides to roll with it. But they've tried other things throughout the year, and whenever it fails or it doesn't click as much as he wants, it's back to Nuge, McDavid, Puljujarvi, Draisaitl, Yamamoto, and Kahun. So I think when we get, and we might see it before then, but I think when you get to opening night of the playoffs, it's back to Kahun with Draisaitl and Yamamoto, and it's Connor McDavid between 93 and 13.
Okay, I'm going to further the Ken Morrison question of the day and add a layer to it. What if this was Dave Tippett's plan all along to hold off the Draisaitl, Yamamoto, Nugent-Hopkins line, and then finally with around a dozen games to go, Evans has got 11 games left, he said, I'm going to put them back together, give them some time to rekindle that magic, and then we'll go from there. Learned from his mistake last year in the bubble, and that was a plan all along. What if, I was thinking that watching practice today, I'm like, what if Tippett was being a sly dog and he did this all on purpose and was playing just a total mind game with the rest of the North Division, and now he's going to give that combination a dozen games to pick it up where they left off last season in the regular season?
Man, I think, first of all, that's going to be the name of the episode, is Tippett a sly dog? I just don't... I like the theory. I'm a big mystery man. Like, I like these types of things. But I don't think that's the case. Simply because the guy didn't go back to it in the postseason last year when they were facing elimination. So why would you all of a sudden save it to 11 games left right now? I don't know, which is why I stick to my guns on, I think Nuge will be up there again at some point. I honestly think him, and it might not even be to the point where if it clicks, it stays together. I think he might be putting it back together for now just to get Nugent-Hopkins and Yamamoto going, because neither of them are really doing too much right now. So you put him back there. If it clicks, it goes good. And then maybe you can get some confidence going with Nugent-Hopkins again, and then get Kahun back with his buddy Leon and go from there. But I like the sly dog theory. That'll be the name. The sly dog theory. Let me write that down there, Tommy. That's good.
No problem. But I mean, it just came to mind today while I was watching practice, and I guess I was just amusing myself while they were going through their line rushes. But I wanted to float it out to you and see what you think.
It's interesting. I like the theory for sure. We'll see how that one plays out. All right, that is your Ken Morrison Remax question of the day. Visit his website at kenrmorrison.com. And hey, the springtime, I don't know for sure, but it sounds like a nice time to get into a new home, right, Tommy?
I think that's absolutely correct, Dusty. You know, we're coming out of this nastiness that was COVID, there's light at the end of the tunnel, and people are looking for new starts. So why not do it in a brand new home? And Ken's a great guy. By the way, he also supports the Double E Football Club quite a bit. He's a huge fan of them as well. So he's a good
August
sports
5th
guy.
Kickoff. He'll be there, locked and loaded, as
Yes,
we all will.
Yeah, yes.
That'll be good. All right, just back to that forward group. Then we'll get to Kulikov and Larsson.
Sure.
With McLeod eventually coming out of quarantine here, who's the placeholder in that lineup for McLeod right now?
Oh, man, it's so many great candidates, to be honest with you.
I know. Everybody.
Yeah. I mean, you could be like, well, is Ennis? Is he just a placeholder? Is James Neal just a placeholder? Is Devin Shore just a placeholder playing center right now or skating at center, depending on what happens with Kara? And then if Kara's back, do you get Shore back onto the left wing? Where does Dave Tippett want to start Ryan McLeod? Because he has said he wants to get him into games. Does he want to start him on the left side, perhaps? Or does he want to go right in at center with Ryan McLeod, which is interesting as well. I mean, the guy's playing absolutely fantastic down in the AHL. So maybe he wants to kind of see if he could ride that wave of confidence. It's interesting. The low-hanging fruit is Neal and Ennis without question. And then maybe you slide over Shore back to wing and get McLeod in that way. So plenty of options right now, quite honestly. And we'll see in the coming days here if and when McLeod gets on the ice where Dave Tippett slots him in there.
I'll be very intrigued to see what this lineup looks like on opening night of the playoffs if Cassian and Kara are both good to go. Because I if you believe in some of the things you're hearing that they want him to play center, then I think it would be Shore to the wing with McLeod and maybe Chase on or something like that. Shore's in your lineup every night moving forward, I think, in my opinion. Shore's not a guy who's coming out anymore. That would be a mistake.
Yep. He's earned his keep absolutely every step of the way. And you're seeing it now. Just a solid veteran player that's been around for a while, knows his role, does it well. That's why they brought him in. I thought that was a sneaky good pickup by Ken Holland.
All right, on the back end today, what they have at practice today on the blue line?
So Nurse back with Barry. Then you had Jones and Bear together, and then Kulikov with Larsson. And I tweeted out that Chris Russell was rotating in a little bit. They had some rotations in there. I left that a bit ambiguous on purpose because Chris Russell ended up paired up with Evan Bouchard for most of the practice. So Kulikov with Larsson. I thought that would be the likely scenario when they got Kulikov in. Two big body guys. A shutdown pair if they're playing well, and Larsson's been playing a lot better in the last couple months. And I saw some rhetoric out there that, well, Kulikov plays better when he's with a puck-moving defenseman. Yeah, I get that theory. I also like to point out that every NHL defenseman considers themselves a puck-moving defenseman. I think,
including Kulikov himself, Tommy.
There you go. Exactly. Like, it's just like whenever I hear puck-moving defenseman, I'm just like, just throw away that clip. It's ridiculous at this point.
All right. So we'll see. How heavy a minutes do you think? Like, how do they, Nurse and Barry are going to get a lot of run, and maybe there's a flip there for, if they do flip, like let's say they want to get Bear up there with Nurse mid-game. If these are your six defensemen who are addressed, do you have to mix up all three pairs then? Because would you feel comfortable with Jones and Barry together? Because personally, I wouldn't.
If it's late in the game, Dusty, and you're only giving those guys spot duty,
they won't get much.
Then what's the big deal, right? You're basically down to four defensemen anyway, and then if a guy needs a breather or a guy takes a penalty, you're using Jones or Barry, depending on the scenario. Obviously, probably I'm guessing Barry, just considering he's a veteran, and let's not kid ourselves, he's probably better defensively than Jones at this point. But Jones is still learning, so I don't see.
You're
the
done.
issue. It's just.
Online community's coming after you, buddy, for the Jones-Barry comment because they hate Barry defensively. You're going to get ripped. Nice knowing you, Tommy, but I don't know if I can have you on the oil stream anymore.
Well, it's been a slice. Thank you so much. Can't wait to see the responses. Like, what do they hate about Barry? You know what? I probably know what they hate about Barry's defensive game. He competes. And I think he gets waxed with a broad stroke, being poor defensively. So Hey, don't they hate Chris Russell defensively too?
Well, like, Tippett uses Barry how he should use Barry. He wants him on the ice with McDavid or Draisaitl as often as he wants because he's, he's an offensively gifted defenseman. You can't argue that. He's one of the best offensive defensemen in the entire National Hockey League. Defensive game needs some work. Yeah, it always has. I mean, that's the book on Tyson Barrie. So
I don't think it's getting any better at this stage of his career.
It's not. And people just don't want to accept that he's even like a part of it right now. I saw somebody when I retweeted your lines, they're like, what's Barrie done that should have him on that top pair? I'm like, he's having a really good year offensively. So
wow.
I don't know.
How about, now I'd make that point considering Jones defensively isn't particularly good. I mean, he's tossed some grenades to his D partners that came without pressure from the opposition. So all I said was, Barry's probably better than Jones defensively right now.
You're done. You're done in this city. Yeah. All right. If you've been watching on the live stream right now, we got 200 live viewers right now. Subscribe to the podcast. Don't miss an episode. Support the audio version of the Oil Stream. Damn it. We would appreciate that. Tommy, big plans this weekend, buddy, or what?
The answer to that is no.
No.
I have zero. You know what? I got to get out to the driving range. Although the weather sucks right now, it's a little bit chilly, but I haven't even taken the clubs out yet, Dusty. I'm disappointed in myself. I'm
very disappointed in you. I mean, I was first talking about the Barry Jones thing, but now the driving range, that's good. I will, look at this, Tommy. How happy am I right now? I got 5 boxes of hockey cards I'm going to be cracking Sunday night on Break Kings. This is my new life, buddy. I need to start getting, what's this one, a Manny or a Petty? What's the hand one?
A
Manny, I think.
Right?
I need to start getting Manny's for my nails. Break Kings on Facebook. Find them. Break Kings with a Z. Break Kings with a Z. I'm going to be cracking all these boxes on Sunday night. I love it, buddy.
Dusty, this is heaven on earth for you, isn't it?
Dude, I know the pandemic has really sucked a big one, and I lost multiple side gigs, and my play-by-play career has been derailed for the next little while. But I'm opening up boxes of cards from a desk in my office here, and I couldn't be any happier, buddy.
I'm happy that you're happy, and that's all that matters. Make the best of a tough situation, and that you are, my friend.
Joe Bale 1 says, can you ask Tommy why he never answers my tweets?
I answer some. I look at them. I don't look at all of them. I get ripped for stuff, and I pass by. I don't know. If it's a good one, I'll answer. Unless he's just out there carving me left, right, and center, I just look it over like, okay.
That could also be a thing too. Maybe you've muted them. You know, if I gave you my mute list on Twitter, people would be like, "What? How do you have all these guys muted?" But I got a big time mute list on Twitter, buddy.
Yeah, I don't really mute anybody, to be honest with you, or block. I've learned to just ignore Twitter. Like, Twitter has become a necessary evil for us, I think. That's how I look at it, at least.
Outside of streaming, there's a reason that you just see me post 1,000 clips, and that's about it on Twitter. That's the best way. You avoid all the drama, you avoid all the heat, you just pound out content. It's that simple. Information
and content. That's the best way to go about it, I think. I don't like to mix it up in the debates and stuff like that. It goes nowhere good.
All right, that's going to do it for another Friday episode of The Oil Stream. Thank you to Ken Morrison for sponsoring our question of the day. And thank you, of course, to our presenting sponsor, Popeye's Louisiana Kitchen. Go and try to get the chicken sandwich and add cheese and just let us know what they say. Just let us know what they say. I'm intrigued by that. That's going to be good. Subscribe to the podcast today so you do not miss an episode. Come directly to your mobile device, just like every other podcast that exists. Tommy, have a good weekend, buddy. We will be back on Wednesday with another edition of The Oil Stream.
Take care, Dusty. Have a good weekend. Enjoy the crack pack.